manager is Helen Waite. So if you'd like credit, you can go to Helen Waite.
That's pretty funny.
And that's our cold open.
Nice.
Welcome to the show, Dave Boyd.
Thank you very much. It's
Dave
good to be here.
Dave Boyd.
Where do I direct my eyes? On you?
Well, you can look wherever you want. Every once in a while, I break the fourth wall, but usually we just have a nice chat with each other.
Yes.
Chatting's good.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I get to see Dave all the time at the Chat and Chew at Millie's on Wednesdays.
Really?
Oh, you go there.
Yeah, wow.
You're the only one chewing.
I am the only one chewing.
Only one
chewing. There's a chat and then I chew. They all watch me. I bring my steak or my sashimi or whatever.
There you go. Nice.
It's good.
So it's pretty good.
Hey, gotta do the chew part of the chat.
Somebody has to chew.
Yeah.
And I'm willing.
Do you chew as well as I do?
Oh my God.
No.
Nobody chews like you, Marianne.
No.
Marianne's known for
chewing
into the
So
microphone.
you two do chew.
All right, now it's time for the song.
Everyone's like, what is going on?
Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time. This pot's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.
All right.
Hey,
and we're back. Welcome
back
to the show.
We'll do it.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Live in the basement.
in the basement of the 18th Amendment.
Live under 18.
Did you play music somewhere last night, Dave?
I did. Actually, I did a double yesterday. I ventured out onto the little alcove at the Elks Club for a little busking session during the farmers market.
Okay.
And it was very good. And I met another woman there that runs the Watkins Glen Farmers Market. And she wants me to play down there.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I ran over to not climbing pines, Snug Harbor last night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Snug Harbor.
That's
I can't remember the last time I've been there. That's a cool little place.
It's very, very pretty. Yeah. It looked like the water was like you were in an inlet or an ocean. It was very, very rough and windy, but beautiful inside where I was. Had a good time.
I don't think people talk about that place enough. That is a cool place to eat. Go ahead.
Do you find that you get a lot of your jobs just by people coming and they're like, oh,
it's funny because I just got a contact with the Barrel House 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been contacting them since I moved here a year ago. And I just flooded Facebook Messenger with, hi, you need to know me.
Sure.
Smart.
And I sent them so many things. And finally, I got a thing back from them saying, okay, you wore me down. I'm giving you August 22nd.
There you go.
Because of your persistence. So I just try to stay in their faces. I don't overcome, but I mean, figure Facebook, everybody checks it every hour anyway. So I'll just put my little face in there. I send a little link to where else I'm playing. And I was lucky because when I moved up here, I met Rod and Scarlett from the Arts Council, and they put me to work on that little street thing they were doing last year because they couldn't do the concerts on the lawn.
Right.
So I did a little strolling thing with my banjo, and I was the guy from Philly playing on Main Street. It was fun.
That's great.
It was fun. But yeah, I always mark it. Always.
I missed that because I was out of town. So you actually walked around?
We did. They set up little sandwich boards at a location, and then you'd play for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then you'd move to another
Go here,
location
go there.
and circle around. And then I met a violinist, and I don't remember his name, sadly. We were right in front of Hoban's, and he just joined in, and the two of us were jamming. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. It's really cool. Now, you got a big music thing going on tonight.
Yeah. We're going to see Outlier. Going up with Megan Wilkinson, her husband's in the band Outlier, and they're playing up in Rochester. So we're all going up.
Where's the venue? What's the venue?
I don't know the name of it.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it.
Now, are you into? So it looks.
I'm just along for the ride.
It looks like it's hard rock, right?
This appears to be not my genre of choice.
It's metal.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It's gonna be fun though.
I'm gonna bring some earplugs and I'll be the old guy that can still hear though.
Okay.
I actually bring earplugs to all my jobs just because I never know who's going to be there. Because I know my dad would walk out of a place if he couldn't hear.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
Oh.
legitimate, you know.
Hmm.
They're just little rubber, foamy things. Pop them in.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to.
You don't want to have
It's
the
not worth your
napkins
hearing.
sticking out of your ear.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
less embarrassing than that.
Yeah. No, it's. So what's new?
What's new? My whole life is new. I moved here a year ago, like I said, in July, and I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary, and I am booked solid pretty much for the rest of the summer, which I like.
Nice.
I have
Awesome.
some things back in Philly I have to do. I have to go back for Labor Day. I have to go back for a private party for 2 couples that I played their weddings.
Oh.
They're having anniversary parties. So that'll be nice. So I use the jobs as catalysts to visit family.
Yeah. There you go.
I like
I
that.
have to be in town, so I'm going to pop in.
Yeah. So what brought you here?
Well, my sister moved here about 30 years ago.
Ah,
My
okay.
sister is Gloria Long. She's part of Long's Cards and Books on Main Street. Everybody knows that store. And when she met Jim, we started vacationing up here, and we've been coming here for 30 years. And it's always felt like my backyard anyway.
Awesome.
We always had a place to stay, and we always enjoyed the culture and the slowness. And it's the only vacation I ever took that I went home rested from.
Really?
It's
Wow,
the best
okay.
place. Yeah. We were talking in those chat and chews on Wednesdays about how to bring more people and what to do and how to advertise it. And my thing has always been that you do what you want instead of having to see so many things. Like, you know, you go to Disney World and you're exhausted.
Hmm.
And then the next time you go, you schedule 2 more days just to rest. So up here, every day is a day of rest. And then when you want to go out, you go out. And now with Main Street blossoming with restaurateurs, and I mean, it's just amazing. There's so many things and choices that you have.
Hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
really great.
It's definitely I would say over the past 3 or so years, it's been amazing to see the level of quality that has just been getting brought down into this area.
I don't know if you've ever been to
Happening.
Philadelphia, but there's an area called Manayunk that has done the same thing. They just really spruced it up and made it very, very hip and very wanting to be there. And this reminds me of that. A lot of people hanging on the street corners, holding a drink, talking, whatever.
Yeah.
It's good.
Getting there. Everything goes in stages. Like I remember when I was younger, Watkins Glen was like first. They were like getting really good,
Mhm.
and then Geneva went from you didn't
Canandaigua,
want to be
yep.
downtown ever
Mhm.
to Geneva was like crazy. Same thing. Canandaigua was kind of same, and then feels like Penn Yan's now. Like it's happening. Everyone's getting in and making things happen.
I think
So-
you're right. Kevin and I went to Geneva last night. We went to the Rusty Pig. Finally got to
that
make it
place
out
is
there.
good.
Oh my God, that place is awesome.
Yeah.
And I thought they closed down Linden Street, but so more restaurants can utilize that one-way street. But they still had cars going through because they didn't block it off. But it was different. I would say from a couple of years ago when we went, it's a different vibe now.
Really?
I was thinking it was going to be more, but it
Mhm.
was a little bit less.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why, but I was just excited that we got to go to Rusty Pig and the bar on what's the Irish bar right there on Main Street?
Oh.
Kelly's?
No.
Eddie, no.
No. It's across from Twisted Rail. Because Twisted Rail sounded like they were busy.
Oh, that bar. Yeah. I don't know that
Maybe
bar.
it's Kelly's.
I think
Maybe
it's
it is.
Kelly's.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
a
it's
cool
Kelly's.
place to go too. So we just went a little bar hopping in Geneva, and it's a different vibe than what it was before a couple of years ago.
Oh, the word bar hurts.
How was your bar experience? Or we can't talk about that.
I just drank a lot. Phil and I went on a distillery tour yesterday.
Oh, how was that?
Thanks to Teresa and John from
Cuca
Cuca
Taxi.
Taxi. They're getting that. They're kind of feeling out the distillery tour market and looking at what that would even look like.
So what places did you guys go to?
We went to Barrington,
Okay.
and then we stopped down for lunch at the Only Place,
Mhm.
and then we went to Barrel House 6.
Where's that?
It's in Hammondsport, down by Dr. Frank. And then it's new.
It's really new.
It's new.
It's really nice in there.
Okay.
And then we went to Crooked Tusker.
Yeah.
And then we went to Antler Run, and then we went home. Well, sort of.
Did you guys go
Then we went
home?
to the
Home would have been the
Laurentide,
appropriate place to go.
and then Burnt Rose, and then 18th Amendment, and then
So anywhere that was open.
Yeah.
Anyone that would accept you.
I didn't go to all those places.
Oh. Then back to Burnt Rose, and I didn't drink when I came. It was feeling good. But their food, whoa.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's saying.
Whoa. It's good.
I've
What
been
did you
saying it, and
like
I
there?
can't say it with words because it's just like
Whoa. It's really
you really can't convince somebody of it either.
No.
Like you just can't convince them that they can get food that's that good.
Yeah.
That's a real that's here.
Yeah. And so like comparing it to my place, our food is good, and it's made good with, I say, like simple ingredients. Like theirs is the way Chet cooks. It's outstanding. The combinations, the flavors. I mean, it's just like, it's unreal. We got this. It was like clam chowder flatbread.
Whoa.
It was out of this world. It's like, I mean, you could see diced up all the little potatoes, real clams. You know, I mean, whatever they use for their flatbread, that bread is awesome. But the star of the show was bacon wrapped dates. Don't know how they're so good or why. I don't even like dates.
They've got like a apple cider reduction.
Oh man, wow! It was pretty impressive. And then we had a sandwich. I can't remember the name of it, but
did you get the Frenchie?
Yeah, the Frenchie.
Yeah, the Frenchie.
That was really good too. But I mean, to me, a sandwich is a sandwich. Like, really, what stood out was things that like you wouldn't think would be great, like the dates and the clam chowder flatbread. I always thought
the potato salad was even like.
I didn't try that, so yeah. But and the sandwich was good, but like sandwich. So
yeah, welcome to Main Street.
Yeah,
it's difficult
one more
singing
great
there,
place.
sitting so close to watching all that food being served. I could reach out. I could literally grab your food.
Yeah, that man, Marianne, you got to go. You got to go.
One of these days.
We just kept eating.
Yeah,
I just kept buying.
That
food.
probably Chet saw you
wasn't
probably, and he was like, "They're in trouble, and I need to feed them."
No, not that. I was okay at that point.
Oh, okay.
Later on, I needed to be saved, but no, that was fun. We had a good time. Austin Lapp was there.
Oh, did you see Austin?
Yep. Owner of Wine Trail Properties.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. They do a lot. They sell a lot of houses around the lake.
Oh yeah.
So that was something that came up. What do you think? Do you think there's so many realtors in the area? Like, there was something I brought up to him. I was like, is there ever a time when there's too many? Like, there's not enough to go around?
There's not enough houses right now.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Like, I
don't know if there's too many realtors. There's just not enough houses.
Yeah.
I think there's probably the right number of realtors. There are people that want houses, obviously. There just aren't a lot of people selling.
Yeah.
Even except for the ones that want to list their house for double what it's worth so they can try to
It's a good time to
cash
sell.
in on this.
It's a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
But
So, what's it like performing here in the Finger Lakes versus performing in Philly?
That's a great question. I've been thinking about that. I got into I don't want to say a routine, but I got into a pattern in Philly the last 3 years before I moved, and it was not great. I had been performing since college, steady, 6 nights a week.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of changes. I went through the disco phase and then the piano bar phase and the karaoke phase and all. And each change of style, I would adopt some of it and keep it and move it forward. So the last place that I worked, I was working 4 nights a week in the same bar. It was 1/10 of a mile from my apartment. It was great. But it was an older crowd. And by older, I mean 30 years ago when this management took over, they were all 40s. And they all stayed until they died. So when I met this place, they were 80. But they were the same people that watched this business grow. And it was so much fun most of the time. But they would tuck her out after 9 o'clock, 9:30. And then miraculously, a bunch of 40-year-olds start coming in. And they were my son's friends, actually. They said, "Don't I know you? I think I know your son." And they would just sing till all hours of the night. And my electronic side of my act grew stronger. And I became a kind of a slash DJ slash KJ host. And I would perform when nobody else wanted to show off. So I got real complacent in the fact that I was kind of a host instead of a main act.
Mhm.
Up here, everything seems to focus on the individual, and there's an awful lot of guitar players out here. So I started using the keyboard to be a little different. I can still do a show on guitar, and I like it. I enjoy doing it. But there's a difference. Like I was at your place the other day, and after every song, they applauded for Rachel. And I thought that was wonderful.
Friday night,
She was great.
what I like to do with live music on Friday is that I monitor the weather and I pray to God that it's always sunny and nice out. And
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
It is.
See, you missed that.
So I was looking at the timing. So let's move the time to 7 to 9 because I think that's more appropriate. So people can still get to do what they need to do and then come on down. So like I always get nervous.
And there's shade back there around 7.
Yes.
So that's not so bad.
You have the shade, you have the scenic view right on the outlet too. And I'm like, Rachel, can you just please perform here? And all of a sudden, like it was like time to go. I look out and there's just like people everywhere.
You were mobbed. I drove by and seen the people.
Oh my God. But can I tell you how happy I was? And then on top of that, the last time she performed, she was like, any requests? This was about a month ago. And Michael Healy is like, Jewel. And so I made sure, can you just know a little Jewel? And she did. And
I was sitting with Michael. Yeah, I remember that.
It was just a perfect moment. It was the perfect night for summer, I think, for us.
Well, she's smart too, because she's probably younger than my youngest child, and she's playing all music I played in my first band.
Yeah.
So she's playing the crowd right, and there's no way she remembers any of these songs.
Great personality.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Great
Good sound.
She's got followers here, definitely. So it was good. It was a perfect
I have
night.
yet to really develop a following yet. That's
You
what
will.
I'm doing. I'm starting.
You
And
will.
I know it'll come in time. I'm not going to push it and rush it. But that was one question that Barrel House 6 asked. They said, do you have any followers? And I said, sadly, not really, not yet.
But you will.
I'm hoping.
It's going to be fantastic because you perform at the bar soon. Is it next week?
Yeah, the 30th I'll be at your place.
You're going to be at my place. So I'm praying to God music or the weather is good and you get to be outside.
And that you can convince me to play outside because you haven't been able to so far.
Well, the past few times it was because it was like daunting hot and sun, but at around 7 o'clock, the sun's moving. The sun's moving.
So that's another thing. The logistics of using the electronic gear that I use makes it a little more risky for me to be in direct sunlight. Number one, I can't see the screens. I have no idea what I'm looking at sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
And they overheat and they stop working.
That's true.
And that's not a good thing.
So I need a test.
So just banging on a guitar. Well,
Yeah.
I always have the guitar with me. So if I had to do a guitar show, I'd be very comfortable on that.
But wasn't there one moment at night when it was getting darker and the lights just went on? And Rachel's just playing, and someone's like, it just felt like we were in a different country at that point because the way everything was just.
I might have
synced.
gone by then. I only stayed about half of the
you
show.
need to stay longer.
Well, I knew I was doing the farmer's market the next morning,
true.
and as an old man, I decided to go home and be responsible and get some rest because singing at 9 a.m. is not my strong suit.
You got to get your sleep.
I
I
don't
would
love
think
that.
so. Your voice,
Well, my voice needs to sleep.
Yeah.
Not me. I could stay up. I'd prefer to stay up later. But the voice is not so cooperative in the morning.
You've got at least one local follower because I'd
He's been in
entirely
almost every show.
intended to be home the day that you played at the Burnt Rose the first time. And then I saw on Facebook that you were going to be there. And I shimmied on down there.
You came up because you saw the post. So
That's
the posts are working.
Yep.
He's
That's
got
why.
one.
Awesome.
That's
There you
why.
go. Jeez.
And so you've got, I don't know, like what I've noticed listening to you is you've just got this like incredible amount of range.
I can swing a lot of directions. And like I said, I adopt something from every genre and every phase of what I've learned over the years. So back in the 70s, it was all disco dance music, and it was fun. And it was great because 6 nights a week, people would dance to the very first number, and they would stand there holding each other, waiting, looking at you, saying, what do you got for me now? What's next? And then it turned into a kind of a karaoke explosion, and they stopped booking the bands because it was cheaper to hire one guy with a little machine and a couple of microphones. And then that kind of ruined it a little, and the piano bar started taking over again. So I was always lucky to be the guy that could be in whatever's next.
Mm-hmm.
And the piano bar thing was fun, and that lasted through the 80s. And when grunge started taking over, the idea of being the lounge guy was not quite as cool. And by this time I had more kids and less hair, and I was not the vision of what you would expect as the performer guy. I never was, actually. People think I'm an accountant or something. I don't drink. I don't worry about my hair loss. I'm overweight. There's things that, I don't really think about. I just want to sing. And even back in college, I was a music major in Temple in the 70s, and I was a clarinet major. And I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to do with this clarinet in practice? What can I really do with this instrument? I said, okay, we got the Philadelphia Orchestra. They have to die to open up a seat. So even if I'm bold enough to assume I might be good enough to get into an orchestra like that, there's no openings. They have that job for life. Then there's the theater circuit, which I love theater, and I always have. But those guys, you get a job with a great show like Phantom or Les Mis or something, you play the same notes at the same time of day, 8 times a week for years.
Wow.
That's frightening to me. That is frightening. That's almost, it requires a different mindset. I mean, you need the creativity to be an artist and to be a player, but to sit in a pit in the dark and wait for the same cue at the same time. It's not like the performers on stage who get to see the audience and the reaction. You're just like a machine churning out notes. And it doesn't look exciting to me. I've played lots of shows, but they run a few weeks and then it's over. But in a professional setting, those guys, Yul Brynner did The King and I, 4,000 performances. Wow. How do you go home from that and not think you're the king and say, et cetera, et cetera? His wife's going to throw him out. You got to take something with you from each of those shows.
Yeah.
But I do that on a very small level when I work at your place or any of these local things. Even that little freebie I did for the farmers market. Yeah. I look at the faces and I watch people and I look at the kids and I try to gauge what would they want to hear? What would make them smile? And I see people moving like this when they walk by, and that's part of my pay. That's part of why I do it.
Isn't that like kind of a high too?
Oh,
because you're
time.
controlling their happiness with your talent,
Big
right?
Time. Which is another reason why I probably don't drink, because giving a performer a microphone and alcohol is not a great idea. In my some people can handle it better, but I have too quick a wit with no filters. And you take away that inhibition, and then like I should have been punched a couple of times just on my own account on stage, but I never was.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, this guy over here does Mustang Sally really well.
Well, we'll have to have
Alcoholic
him do that
super.
Can you just from now on, whenever you see him
When you
walk
see
in,
him.
just like
Never again. Never
That-
again.
Yeah,
you need
right.
to reprise that role. I need to see that.
Well, it's
you don't want to see it, Dave.
It wasn't.
You don't want to see it.
It wasn't singing. It was a stripping.
He has
Oh,
a-
well,
He was
he's a
making
dancer.
love.
He does.
Yeah.
I was in college, and it was like college night, and like you won something. I don't know what it was. If you did the best strip dance, so you like stripped down
Shot.
into your underwear.
What a
And
shot.
the song was Mustang Sally. So, and I told them the story, and they never let me live it down to this day. So, yeah,
I'm very thankful that you shared that story.
it's a great story.
I'm glad there's no video.
You know how we were talking about alcohol? Yeah, it's a horrible thing. It really is. It's not a good.
Some of those inhibitions are good.
I know lots of people, and especially the fans that come out to watch the music, that are very, very responsible, but I see their limit, and I see when they pass that limit. And a guy that's just so much fun and so jovial can turn into a real butthead.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
In one more drink.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I don't see it too often.
No.
And that's true. Most of the people up here are very, very responsible. They use drivers, they take their boats, which I guess isn't really safer, but
Well, at least they're not going to hit anybody, probably.
Maybe.
Pedestrians.
Well, there's still the docking.
Yeah.
Docking soberly is still hard for me. I still can't figure it out.
that's rough.
They shouldn't do it, but
No.
there at least won't be a kid crossing the street.
What are the laws with drinking on the water? Is that the same as any other time?
Yeah.
Same as
Yeah.
in the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can be publicly intoxicated on the water and not get in trouble.
Oh, you can be.
Yeah, you can, but you can't drive and drink
Okay.
the
Right.
boat.
But can there
Right.
be alcohol on the boat?
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't
Oh,
have
yeah.
alcohol
Oh,
in
yeah.
a car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're allowed to have it.
Yeah,
Maritime law.
Okay.
yeah, they're allowed.
Yeah.
It's a maritime law
No.
on Cuca Lake.
You can also, the captain can marry people as well, and deliver babies.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Wow.
Wow.
You can do anything.
So much I haven't done.
You can
up
do
here.
anything on the high seas. You can do anything
I can
You
get
need to-
married and
you
have
need to get
another
a boat.
baby
You
and
need
get
to get a
drunk
boat.
all
Do
in
it.
the same place.
on a boat.
Yeah.
On a boat.
I love boats.
Phil, what's that? What's that thing there?
Oh, check this out. So I got this from Jay Volmer,
Oh, that's
and
very
he's
cool.
doing. I don't know how he does it. He's got
Is it
some
metal
kind of.
or wood?
It's wood.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Check that out.
Let me see.
It's pretty cool, right?
I like it.
So he's been doing a lot of neat stuff. He did the boards over at the Burnt Rose. So the
those
little
yeah.
rose that's on there, he
Mhm.
did.
Did he do the sign out
he
front
makes
that's
these
hanging?
Christmas
No.
ornaments.
No, he didn't
That's
do
big.
that.
The sign was Staving Artists.
Yes.
That's a very cool place.
It is.
That is very cool.
But he's doing all sorts of cutting boards, Christmas ornaments, different kind of woodworking stuff that I don't know. I just brought it down because I thought it was a neat little thing.
Jay's a little hottie. He's so talented.
And we had a talking about Jay. He's got a lot of talents when it comes to doing the wood and everything. Because I come to him all the time with like 100 different ideas. Like, hey, could you do this? He's like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
can you do this? Could you do that? So I'm surprised he doesn't do that full time because he's really good
He
at
could,
it.
yeah. Get
So,
a couple more machines.
Yeah. Then he's gonna start. See, it's never fun when it becomes a job,
Right,
right? You know,
right.
that, it all sucks.
I
from
think he
there.
knows that too. And I
So,
think
yeah.
that's why he's very careful. Have you guys, when was the last time you went to Cuca Brewing? I went there.
Oh,
I went there I went
a year
yesterday
ago?
with a friend of mine. And their boards, it's in the shape of Cuca Lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I
neat.
was like,
Like
Wow.
for the flights.
yeah. I was like, how have I not seen that before? And so I was talking to the owner and we were having a flight. He's just make sure you bring those back. And I'm like, I'm assuming people take these all the time.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
But they opened up, like they expanded their room. So Cuca Brewing, I have to say, you guys got to check that place out. That's awesome. Because we also went to Steuben. I was thinking walking into Steuben, it's just going to be a whole bunch of IPAs because that's what I'm so used to. Pilsners.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Ooh.
Pilsners.
They
was
make
like,
a good pilsner too.
Oh, they do.
I got to get down there and have a
And
pilsner.
Cuca
Yeah.
Brewing makes the best lager.
They do.
The 607 lager.
They
is
have
the best lager.
Two nut browns. One's like a darker nut brown, and one's like more of like a summertime nut brown.
Yeah.
I gravitated more to the darker nut brown.
There
That
you
was
go.
more my style.
Oh, this beer talk's killing me.
Wish I knew what you guys were talking about. I have no
I'm
clue.
sorry. I just wanted to make
I just
sure
know
that we
you like
talked about-
brown nuts, big brown nuts.
I love big brown nuts. We're gonna put that on a shirt. Jay, can you put that on a board for me?
Can we get
So
my sweaty balls.
Alec Baldwin?
we had an interesting thing at the 18th Amendment with music last night.
Yeah, what was
Really?
that? Was Mr. Pickle?
Jet Pickle Rick?
Pickle Rick. Yeah, it's my dad's friend. He plays for he just wants to play.
That's
Yeah.
the guy that
Yeah.
played Memorial Day when
Yeah.
I worked with you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
He just wants to play. Doesn't want to get paid.
Guy
My
bought a million pieces of equipment for that one little
Yeah.
after show.
Yeah.
What,
Oh my
what
gosh.
does he play? I bounced before that even happened.
Just
Psychedelic rock
Just
guitar.
jams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just
Oh,
Pink
jams.
Floyd,
Sorry,
yeah.
I missed
whatever.
that.
Anything weird, anything nice,
He
everything in between.
so everyone was loving the music, but we had one person that did not want music.
Uh-huh.
So it's just it was a very
Was she?
we've never had that happen.
And they were sitting right in
Like,
front of us.
yeah, was they
uh,
sitting up
real
front?
close.
Yeah.
Or were they
Customer?
sitting in the back?
Oh, I think maybe we're two back from where he was playing,
Oh,
and the other people in front of in the front were loving it, and
Absolutely.
other people were really having, but this one just was not having it, and it's what do you do in a situation like that? It's do you be well, if you don't like it, leave, and my dad just keeps telling him hey, drop it,
Definitely.
and everyone's hey, turn it up, everyone
you
else
just-
is enjoying it. So.
We got music tonight. If
Yeah.
you don't want to see music, you want to hear music, then you go someplace else.
how many
Yeah.
people was in the group? Was it
Like,
one?
you don't have to
two?
tell them that. That's
Two?
just what people do.
Could you just move them to the back of the bar?
No, not really. Now, and the
It's-
tables are full.
Maybe the guy was there breaking up with her or something. Maybe he
Oh.
wanted to deliver bad news.
Well, he was going to propose.
Oh, maybe that too.
He's,
Well, he could have had Rick serenade her with Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon.
She would have said no
Like, I don't
after
know.
after
Yeah,
that.
That's the thing, though. Rick doesn't play a lot of hits.
No.
He plays a lot of deep cuts.
Yeah,
so
it's like
Deep cuts are great.
yeah, they're good. They're wonderful. And if you're watching a performer, that's fun to watch because you're seeing the creation. But if you're there to talk to somebody and you want to just hear familiar things in the background, that's kind of what I bounce between. Do they want to watch me create something, or do they just want me kind of as musical wallpaper? Do I just stay in my corner and do my thing and let them enhance their own place? Because it's like the places that have a million TVs, how they do that so that everybody has something to talk about when they run out of things to talk about.
Right.
If you're sitting there, look at John scored a goal.
I've noticed.
Oh, hey, the Olympics are on too, so you kind of want to have the TVs going
Yeah.
on. But I
Right.
think with the smaller places, especially with my place, mostly the customers are interested in the musical talent and they pay attention.
Well, there's no question about that. And it's also a COVID consequence because people are absolutely stir crazy
Mhm.
for company and for being outside again. They just love the idea that they're out again.
Good and bad company, apparently,
Yeah.
at your place.
What do you do? What do you do? How do you make everyone happy?
You can't.
You can't.
Didn't
Yeah.
Lincoln say that? You can please some of the people.
And if you could make everyone happy, the place would suck because it'd be pretty bland, right? You try
Right.
to, you gotta,
Indeed.
you got to just like
Yes.
cater to a certain thing, and hopefully that crowd comes, right?
I make
So-
sure I let my customers know, I hope you have very low expectations because I will ruin that as well. And you know what? That works with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: you should go into a place open-minded.
Yeah.
And even a bad experience sometimes is a good. Some of the best experiences I've had was horrible experiences in restaurants, and it makes no sense. But that's still conversations my friends bring up about just crazy, like a waitress spilling drinks all over all of us, or like just the crazy things that
Creates
can
a
happen.
moment.
It's just like we still talk about those. You can talk about like, wow, that meal was amazing. But sometimes make the best of the bad too. It can always become fun.
I
funny.
would say
So-
Friday, like it was like my normal my two couples, and they come in and whatnot, and they give me their food order. It was packed, right? And I come up to them. I'm like, hey, do you guys need anything? They're like, you didn't forget our order, did you? I just had this big grin.
Ordered already?
What order?
I was like really just the grin just came out of nowhere, and I was really thinking like, I don't think I fucked that up, did I? I'm like, no, I'm promised, but I could not take that grin off my face because I wasn't 100% sure.
Did you forget?
No, I put it in.
Oh, there you go.
I put it in.
Okay.
I just kept forgetting their beer order though.
Yeah.
I was like, water?
You wanted water, right?
Back to musicians. Something I wanted to say. Have you noticed some of the best that I've seen around here know what, like we were talking, either to be the star of the show or just sit back and play in the background?
That's a
and,
juggling act. You
and
have
it's
to
like,
know when.
and some of the best they're like, I mean, they're really good at it. And Dave's played for me once, but I've seen you do a pretty good job at it. And then Kate and Dave, they're very good at either being like in it, or they have no problem with pulling back
Oh,
if they have
great.
to, so it's just like, and I think that's good because sometimes you see some people and they're just like, they're there, you better be ready because they're gonna let it go.
Have you
So,
had Love Dub there at your place?
no
Yet?
no. See, we don't really do live music. We just started 2 months ago.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't really do it.
I think
So,
it's a level of self-awareness as a musician.
And you have to listen. You have to listen to the crowd as much as you have to listen to your own
Mhm.
instincts. What I do first is I make them make me turn it up. First of all, I play too low for them to really be able to get into it. And I watch them listening and moving in closer. And then they say, could you turn it up a little? Much better than the other way around.
yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they see the speakers. They say, "Could we sit over there?" I hate when
Can
they
you go
walk in and
outside?
before I play a note, they say, "Is there another table somewhere else?" Because they just assume it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm 66 and my hearing is as good as an 18-year-old.
I bet.
Because I never sat in front of my speakers. I never did the blaring thing. I didn't do the hard rock scene, and I'm very proud of that. And I make sure that my people don't have that problem too.
Right.
But it's really I have a thing on my Facebook page that says music should be a conversation and not a speech. If you're not listening to your audience, you're not really doing your job, because it is a give and take. It's a thing where I have to throw something out there and hope that you like it.
Yeah.
And then you'll throw something back in a smile or a tip or
Yeah.
just by body language. And it's very important to do that all the time, and you can't rush that. And if I know, like when I go in, Phil's got a reserved seat at, at the Burton Rose, and his back is to me, but I know he's into it. And he turns around and he lets me know that he's listening here and there, and he communicates. And it's vital, I think, for a performer. That's why I've never wanted to do the studio thing with any kind of real passion, because I don't want to stare at a wall. Looking at the little red dot on the camera doesn't excite me, not at all. It's very hard to even focus on it. During that initial part of the shutdown, I was doing a couple of streaming concerts for some of the people that were asking, and I just was never, ever comfortable. And they were generous. They were Venmo tipping, and they were throwing the love with the comments, and it was wonderful, and it was a good connection for a half hour, but frightening from a performer point of view. It's because like right now, I can see two eyes on your face, but when you're looking at the one little red dot, it's really, really strange. It's hard, really strange.
I want to see you with the clarinet, though.
Oh,
I really want to see that.
August 4th, our concert on the lawn.
Oh,
the Wednesday. It's the last one of, not the last one of the season. It's that's when the community band plays. Oh, I'm taking a little solo and rock around the clock. Yeah.
Snap! I used to play clarinet. In elementary school, so it's nothing compared to your talent. But
that was my major instrument for a while.
You can probably play hot cross buns pretty well, right? Isn't that like the first thing you learn on the clarinet?
I think it is the first thing. Or Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, one of those. Awesome. You didn't do the clarinet in elementary and music class?
Well, you're probably talking about recorder.
The recorder.
They wouldn't give you a clarinet.
Right. That's that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not very musically inclined, but
I just wanted to see it on bagpipes. Hot cross buns on bagpipes.
Bagpipes only have 7 notes. They're really difficult to play.
Can't really mess it up.
Anything but that kind of stuff.
At least everything's like in key, right?
Bagpipes.
Dave,
bagpipes are gorgeous. No, I don't. They're gorgeous outdoors, but they should never be played indoors. I worked a place where they would always do a thing outside for a certain holiday, and then they would come in for a drink, and then somebody would inevitably say, "Oh, play Amazing Grace." And it's just a tuning process.
Is that Easter? Easter is like that?
I don't even remember. It was 10 years ago or more. But the drone notes, they have 3 long pipes that only play the same note. Oh. Well, they're 3 different notes, but they don't change when they use the fingerings. So they squeeze the bag and they go, and they're so close to the ceiling that it just amplifies it to an unbearable level. There's an old joke. Why are there so many bagpipes in the marching bands? Because they're trying to get away from the music.
There you go. Where Dundee is the Scotsman. So we had bagpipes at like everything. And especially like football games, you'd always walk out with 2 people playing the bagpipes and they'd just be nailing. And they were loud outside too. And like, I don't know, the one guy, he was really good. He could do like the bagpipes. Is it Shipping Up to Boston or one of those? That's what we'd come out to. And I mean, it was cool, but I can imagine inside it's got to be a little crazy. So
I don't mind it. Only like if it's Irish rock kind of stuff, like then they can get away with it a little bit more. At a wedding or a funeral,
they're very, very touching.
Sure. Really I like bagpipes, but I mean indoors. You can almost get away with it a little bit when they're playing in a loud rock band.
Okay, yes,
as opposed to
which is not the norm,
right? but there are a few that are really good. Yeah. Actually, Enter the Haggis is an incredible Irish rock band. They're going to be at Lincoln Hill Farms.
Oh, really?
Coming up pretty soon. So anybody that like thinks they like that kind of music, I don't know what the date is on that. Sometime in the next couple of weeks. But if you're wanting to check some kind of Irish rock music out, they're tops. They're great.
If you want good food and good beer, Lincoln Hill Farms is the place to be.
I haven't been there yet.
That's awesome.
Oh man,
yeah. Really cool. They like smoke all their like own sauce, like they age it and then they smoke it themselves and everything. It's like it's pretty phenomenal up there. So,
when was the last time you were there?
A year ago, I think. Yeah.
How's your pellet grill going, by the way? Speaking of smoking, is it like
good?
You use it all the time?
Yeah.
So I got one. I've been using it all the time. And a couple days ago, I'm making some steak and eggs on there. I got like a little griddle in there too. So like making my steak and eggs and whatever, and heating up some ribs. And I see smoke coming from the hopper.
Mm-hmm. That's not good.
And I'm like, that's not good. Holy
Yeah.
crap. So made me a little nervous. I think it was, I don't know if I turned it off yet. And maybe anyway, long story short is like it was starting to, smoke back up into the auger so the way a pellet grill works is you got a hopper and it's got a little auger that pushes pellets into a little cup and then they burn there. You don't want them to burn back.
Mm-mm. And they shouldn't. Yeah.
The hopper was completely full. I just filled it.
Oh God.
So I'm just thinking, God. So I just like got it away from the house, even
fire.
further.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I got out a little screwdriver and a little cup, and I emptied out the hopper. And I don't know.
What are the pellets? Compressed wood or corn or it's wood?
It's like, and it is really cool. Like seriously compressed wood.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty.
It looks like rabbit food.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool because what you can do is you can turn it on. You're supposed to be able to just leave it. You're supposed to set it and not check on it for 8 or 10 hours.
It's got like a thermostat. So
it takes care of itself.
It feeds just the right amount.
It's lazy man's cooking.
Oh.
It is. It makes some really great food though. I'll tell you.
It's pretty.
If you can wait 10 hours.
You don't have to because it'll heat up to 500 degrees.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but if you smoke brisket or ribs or something, you have to. It's 8 or 10 hours.
You can go anywhere from 180 all the way up to 500 with mine. So and just right on a thermostat.
Talking about smoking, what happened over at Burke and Mills last night?
I don't know. I think you're the expert on that.
Did you see like the fire trucks?
I saw a lot of trucks, but I didn't hear any sirens.
I wasn't down there.
They weren't in a rush.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
I heard some sirens when I was over at the Laurentide listening to I thought it was when the band was still on.
I don't know. I can't remember what time it was. Like I said, I was feeling.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just dust. I mean, when you get all those grains, you get a lot of dust.
Yeah, they were there for a while. A bunch of fire trucks and cops and kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So,
I'd hate to see that place go up.
I thought it was my place.
You're not that lucky.
They parked outside, like out front of my place. I'm like, oh no.
Rose said that you like ran out the door and ran down there.
Yeah, I was like gone. I was like, oh,
like as though you were gonna do something.
Yeah, I will.
Oh,
so I started like taking like my thing off, and the Superman like cape came out, and I put it back on real quick once I found out I didn't have to save anyone.
Where does Superman change now that there are no phone booths?
Good question.
I usually,
that used to be very important.
There's a lot of public bathrooms now, so I usually go there and change and come out when I put on my cape.
Where's a public bathroom here, other than places?
The 18th Amendment.
I think it was closed at that point, wasn't it?
No, it was open.
Oh, it was open.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That would suck though. You only have one bathroom, so you'd have to wait till somebody comes out. If it was occupied.
To get changed. Hopefully, you don't need Superman in a hurry.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Talking about Superman and all that, this has nothing to do with it. So I seen a picture of you on Facebook the other day where the wine bar was slammed. And it's the happiest I've seen you in a photo.
It's a great picture. By the big wine bar sign.
And forever. That was not a fake smile.
No,
you were genuinely happy. I haven't seen you that happy in a picture.
Yes.
It was you. So there's this Chihuahua that was there.
The Chihuahua.
And the Chihuahua made my day, quite honestly. But it was just being able to having that other person help with like the bar, but just talking and hanging out with people and talk and just serving it up like it. That I haven't smiled like that in a long time.
This is what I'm talking about.
You and I have talked about
this. Is what I'm talking about.
You and I have talked about
this. It's a great smile.
That dog, though, Luca looked like, why is she sharing this spot with me? Why are we doing this now?
That dog is not smiling.
That dog was not. But
that dog looks like it's murdered people.
I'm in the witness protection program.
But when Luca saw Alex, who was helping me that night, went nuts. It was so happy. I felt like I was the wrong person to be in that photo. If Alex was in that photo rather than me, it would have been phenomenal. But I was like, Alex, what is up with you and this dog? And he's like, oh, I have no idea. It's cute. It was cute.
No, I had to say that because I seen that picture. I was like, whoa, Marianne actually freaking happy and the place is packed. and there's a
I've only seen her happy. Come
I'm
on,
kind of
what are you-
confused. Am I miserable
No,
all the
no.
time?
I always see her happy, but then in pictures you see this.
Oh,
yeah. You never like smile in a picture. You're just like or you're like, and then you like fake a smile like that one. I was like, Marion's having time for life that freaking day.
You know what
That's
it
for
is?
sure.
When I take my own picture, I can see my face and I don't know how to do it. So when
Right.
somebody else takes my picture, it's a
gotta
lot
answer this call.
easier. Oh, do you have to go to the bathroom? Okay. All
Yeah.
this happiness talk.
he left the dog in the car.
Ooh, it's gonna be warm today, isn't it?
It is
Supposed to
gonna
be up
be.
in the mid 80s.
It's no, like 82.
That's
Lower
mid.
80s.
Low mid.
That's low 80s, by the way. Low 80s.
I thought I saw 84.
82.
I saw 84.
2.
4.
Dose. So, Dave, would you say that is Gloria your favorite sister?
Oh no, I can't say that. I have two favorite sisters. I taught high school for 10 years in a very special ed kind of place, and I ran the music department and the drama department, and I told every one of my kids at the same time, I said, whoever is with me is my favorite.
There
So
we go.
if Gloria was here, I would say, yes, you are my favorite. But as soon as somebody else comes with me,
Yeah.
which is probably why I have 3 ex-wives.
You have 3 ex-wives?
I do.
No,
Do you?
I only have 1 ex-husband.
Oh, well, no, I have 3.
So I'm behind you.
Technically, I have,
Are they
Two.
all in Philadelphia? Is that why you moved here?
they're all in Texas,
honest.
according to the song. No, 2 in, where have we got? 1 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Florida, 1 in New Jersey. But they're all good. They're all good, except for the third one. The third one we don't talk about.
Oh, okay.
The third one should have been a sports car. It would have been cheaper, and I would have still had it. The first one, I was just too young. We have a son together, and it's wonderful. We have great relationship. I play all her family's parties.
Awesome.
We're all invited to the same stuff.
Yeah.
And the second one is what I really consider my ex-wife, because we were together 20 years. We have 3 girls. She helped me raise my son
Yeah.
quite a bit. And I look at it as I have an old girlfriend, an ex-wife, and a midlife crisis.
No,
So-
that's a song right there, right?
It is. It's a country song.
Oh, can you play it next Friday?
I'll have to-
Next time
I'll
I
have to
see
write
you.
that.
Yes.
That's funny. I worked in a pawn shop for a short time repairing guitars. And the one girl came in. She said, this guy at the bar last night was such a douche. And I wrote a song the next day for her that Katie, what was it called? He's such a douchebag or something. I forget how it went,
I
but it
love
was
that word.
very well received.
I bet it was. A lot of
It
people
was-
could relate to it.
Well, her dad owned a bar, so I was working at her dad's bar, and she came in that night with her mom. I said, Katie, I got a song for you.
So being married 3 times. So Jesse one day will pop the question. One day. What
To
would
me,
you? No.
Well, maybe
Jesse
Dave.
wants to be
I don't
number
know.
4.
Well, make it 4.
I didn't have any luck with women. Maybe I'm on the wrong track.
He's figured it out.
What kind of advice would you give Jesse for his future being down the aisle 3 times?
Don't rush.
Don't rush.
Don't
There you go.
rush.
See,
There we go.
Mary.
That's the big
You
thing.
see, Mary, don't rush.
Walk at a nice even cadence.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I am notorious for kind of jumping before I walk. I
Do you make more emotional decisions
yes,
then?
I shoot from the heart, not the hip, or
Okay.
whatever the expression is, if there is one. But I always believe that you're never going to go wrong if you listen to your heart. You're going to get hurt, and that's fine, but you're going to feel and you're going to be.
Mhm.
And I would rather have ex-wives than never had.
Experiences.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't imagine any one of my children not being here.
Right.
So without 2 of those women, I don't have those kids. And right or wrong, difficult or fun, I can't imagine what life would be
Right.
without the people that are mine in my circle. And like I said, the 2 exes that I communicate with are quite friendly. I mean, our family gatherings, my poor son and his wife have 8 parents each. And when we get together, there's a matter of fact, they called my kids called me Pop, my grandkids. And then when I went over his house, there were a bunch of kids from his wife's side who also had a pop-up and a pop. So there was this one little girl who was not related to me, but she's related to my grandchildren.
Okay.
And she says, "Can I call you Popcorn?" Because she didn't want to just call me Dave or Mr. Boyd or something, but everybody else is so friendly and so connected that
Awesome.
they wanted to be connected.
That's great.
So I'm Popcorn to some, Pop-Up to some, Pop for the lazy ones, and Uncle
Popcorn.
Dave to a lot.
I like the
Uncle
popcorn.
Dave.
Popcorn's fun.
Yeah.
I like popcorn.
Uncle Dave is a hell of a stage name. That's what I would.
I had a music store called Uncle Dave's Music. And
There
it
you
was
go.
my moniker for a long time, and I had a little website called Uncle Dave's Music. And Gloria, my sister,
Mhm.
her son Michael, who is now 26 and going into med school,
Mhm.
is my godson. So one day he decides to look up Uncle Dave's website. And unbeknownst to him and to me, once I left that name and went to a new thing with my new Dave Boyd Music,
Mhm.
a porn site bought the name, which is very
Uncle Dave.
legitimate. And
There you
he
go.
looked at this site and said, "Mom, I don't think this is Uncle Dave, is it?"
Well,
It's got weird.
It was quite a surprise.
that's pretty funny. Uncle Dave's.
But once you relinquish a domain name, it's
Yeah.
free reign. And
Free
I
reign,
had a
right.
little bit of traffic on it, so they figured, let's take a shot and we'll get Uncle
Wow.
Dave's
Some
clientele.
fun.
newbie
Uncle
right
Dave.
now. You know, newbie's
Jesus.
sitting there. Uncle
Yeah.
Dave. He's looking at
What
it.
is this?
Yeah, noob's like full on.
So
Let's
that was
see
never my intent. It was never my content.
it.
Also, don't go to whitehouse.com. It's whitehouse.gov.
Yeah, yeah,
What-
that's
I
what
learned
they
that in like whatever was it, 5th grade, that you learn how to use the internet. We're in the library on the computers,
Did it pop up?
and I would have never gone to whitehouse.gov. Like, what would have been the reason for me to open up the White House? What, like, out of all the websites, I would have been going to like Yankees.com or something, but they wanted me to go to whitehouse.gov. And I typed it in whitehouse.com because I was like rushing and I didn't notice the .gov part. And all of a sudden they got all these like collages of like Monica Lewinsky's head on some lady's body and stuff like that. Just like all this crazy stuff.
Because because
And that was where your innocence died.
That was the day.
No.
That was the day.
something else peaked that day.
Jesus
Yeah, well, try Googling yourself. And
Oh, I've done it.
and when you Google yourself, there's a porn star with the same name as yours. And you're just like,
Wait.
wait a minute.
Yeah, you had that kind of name,
That's
though.
fact.
You
Yeah,
had that
That's a
name.
good point.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
good.
And then imagine when you then type in like Dundee next to it, it
Yeah.
just comes up with a picture of you with the shirt unbuttoned all the way to your belly button.
Yeah.
So you have those
so
pictures.
I
so
do.
glad.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
God.
see, so before I ever met Jesse, I saw that picture first. So
I
I
gotta
was,
meet him.
I wanted to meet him.
Yeah.
I
Gotta
did.
meet him. No, it doesn't look like that anymore.
But I had-
was young.
You
You
started
did-
singing Mustang Sally. didn't you?
I don't think you knew that picture was up though. That's why I
Mm.
had to be like, "Hey, so do you know this is
No.
you?" And you're
No.
like, "Oh no."
That was Twitter.
Twitter.
I haven't used Twitter.
So my
in
second bit of
6
advice for
years.
you for marriage is to get rid of all your internet presence.
Social
Do
media
not
needs
let
to
your
die.
wife to be find out your past.
I think
Yeah.
she's very aware.
Well,
of
we
your
went to
past.
high school together, so
She
it's too
knows it
late
all.
now.
Oh, she took the picture.
Yeah,
I-
probably.
I hear you.
Oh God,
One of the many.
one of the many. Oh God, those freaking days.
Long gone.
Yeah.
What are you guys
Well,
up to today?
Today, I'm selling a keyboard off of Facebook Marketplace around
Nice.
1 o'clock. I've been filtering. I had so much gear in Philadelphia. I had rental things, and I had other bands, and I also had 3 different bars set up where I had equipment that I left there. So I had to put all that stuff somewhere, and some of it I just will not need anymore.
Right.
You know, part of the locale and part of how I'm kind of readjusting my act a little bit. And I got some new stuff too. So I'm replacing some things and just moving things out. And this is one of the last things I have from the pile of unused, unloved, unwanted toys, misfit toys.
Nice.
This is going from the aisle of misfit toys to wherever this guy lives. And other than that, nothing. We usually try to have Sunday dinner at my sister's when she's around. And that's always nice.
It's a great day to be outside or air conditioning.
No, I'm
Air
going
conditioning.
in my. Well, actually, no, I can't. Damn it. All right.
I'm gonna
I thought
die
so.
at this concert. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine.
I don't know if
gonna
it's
be good
indoors
for you.
or
You're gonna meet a
outdoors or-
nice emo woman.
Char
goth
Char will
woman
try to take care
with
of you.
fishnet stockings
Yeah. You're gonna do fine.
and black fingernails.
Yeah. Are you gonna paint your fingernails?
Don't do that.
Do you think it would help?
Maybe.
you can try anything. There
I
you
already
go.
told him I'll be wearing a black T-shirt and gray shorts.
I go to
Just get
him.
with
I
us.
go to him yesterday. I go, well, no, to Mary. I'm like, can we get Phil a different colored shirt? And,
I like the black.
And Mary goes, no, he looks good in black. And I was
Yeah.
like, but he just wears like black shirts. He's like, no, I have one blue shirt that I wear.
But he's going for simplicity, and I think it's not a horrible idea.
Steve Jobs wore the same thing for 30 years.
There we go.
He
and
had
he's-
one outfit.
Dead now, right? So
Yes. It will kill you, but you're going to look good laid out
It's
in
fatal.
black. You're going to look good laid out.
you don't have to worry about wearing different stuff. I think it's a good idea.
He took the Back in Black album way too serious. Oh God,
AC/DC, that's a band.
that's a band.
I'll tell you what.
Heck yeah,
I would love to see them.
yeah.
They're all my age now.
Yeah, they're
Or-
still
or
playing
more.
though, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they might
Yeah.
even be a little bit older than me. Yeah. It's amazing how many of the old rockers are still touring. Rolling
Yeah.
Stones and Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, why
and
not?
things like- yeah, why not?
I
Exactly.
wonder how many of them still have their hearing.
Probably none.
Yeah,
Probably none. They have little tiny earbuds in,
Mhm.
and they can pump up the sound as much as they need.
Hmm.
But that whole genre of rock and roll was never based on safety and
No.
politeness. It was pushing
Safety.
boundaries in every way.
Right.
So
Right.
your hearing is it's a consequence that they were willing to trade for. You know?
The lead singer of AC/DC, you don't ever see like cover bands because his voice is like
oh, it's
Insanely
just
high.
different, you
Tough,
know, just
yeah.
like a different style. The way it seemed like he was screaming the whole time, but at the same time, like it sounded good. So I don't
Some
know.
people can do that and not have a sore throat. Most people don't. They push themselves and they hurt
he's
themselves.
got calluses on his vocal
Oh
cords.
my God. Yes.
Yeah, that
Jeez.
happens.
Who did I ask you to sing? It wasn't as high. It was at the
Journey or somebody.
no. I think it was Roy Orbison.
Roy
right?
Orbison.
Roy
Roy
Orbison.
Orbison. And I tried one, and I hit the note. I didn't hit it beautifully, but I.
But
I
you know
hit
what
it.
though? You did it though.
I can. What I try to do, I don't try to copy an artist. I try to copy the feeling of the song. So if the song,
It's an emotional song.
yeah, if the song has enough content to grab onto,
Hmm.
you can do something with it. And I noticed that with Rachel the other day too.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a huge range.
No.
So she changes a lot of the notes to fit her range, and she makes good choices. And
Yes.
she picks a lot of things. I had a comment once on myself because my voice is low and I rarely hit the high notes unless they really feel well. A guy come up to me and says, "You never really sing the melody, do you? you're always harmonizing with yourself."
Okay.
I said, "Well, I take some liberties. Yes, I have to make sure these notes fit in my head."
You can have your interpretation on that. That's
Right.
perfectly
Right.
fine.
But I do try to copy the feeling of the song.
What about this? Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain you were playing the other day?
That was a reggae
Hey.
version.
That was-
I like the. I
he
like
played
to
a
switch it
reggae
up.
version of Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
Snap.
Hey,
It's,
You can
it's
make it
cool.
work.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
take it.
I was listening to it and I was like, "Is it
Got
Blue
the
Eyes Crying in the
happiest
Rain?"
version.
I've never heard a happy version.
Well, I
of
knew
Blue
you were a
Eyes.
Willie Nelson fan too. I figured let's see what he thinks about this.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How
Well, that
awesome.
all started because I was doing a Bobby Darin song one night, and I noticed that 3 or 4 of his huge hits are about people dying and people sad, but with these happy swinging melodies.
Oh.
Clementine, Little Girl Drowns, Artificial Flower, Little Girl Freezes, Mac the Knife, Serial Killer Kills Everybody. These are songs that you don't think of as sad songs.
Yeah,
But if you listen to the words, and it's funny, as a singer, I don't always listen to what I'm singing. I'm watching you. I'm not listening all the time. Sometimes I have to,
Right.
but after 40 years, you know, some of these songs I can do them while I'm watching TV and reading a book. It's just not something I have to concentrate on anymore. But a song with a lyric that really talks about something tragic, but it has a happy melody, it's not easy to combine. And so I figured, let's try reggae. Let's see if that works.
Nice.
There you go.
Reggae's happy.
Reggae is awesome.
So, what was the saying? you said so. Music is a conversation, not a speech. Is
Not
that
a
what it is?
speech,
That's
yeah.
I really like that.
I coined
That's
that.
really
That
good.
is my saying.
That's a
Are
very
you
good
gonna
saying.
put a tattoo on your body
No,
with that?
no, I don't. I'm not. I actually, you guys, this sounds horrible because Dave's here, but I'm one of those people. I actually don't overly get excited for live music because I guess I really don't know how to appreciate it. Like I like to listen, but at the same time, like I don't overly appreciate it. So it's like for me, I've always been my favorite part of live music is more the talent. I really like that people can sing and they can play the instrument, and more than like appreciate music. I sound like a horrible person, I know, but
No.
I just like to watch more than anything. I like to watch the act of it more
Yeah.
than I'd like to even hear, just because I've tried to play guitar. I can't sing. And just like when you watch people do it, you're like, whoa, that's really
awesome.
impressive. But
Yeah.
for me, the music wise, it's like, I could go either way. But some people, it's like my mom and dad, that is almost a mandatory thing if they're going to go somewhere.
Your
like
dad's a big
Oh,
music
live
fan.
music?
He loves music.
Yeah.
He wants to see live
You can
music.
tell.
For me, myself, I'd be like, yeah, no, I mean, it's nice if it's going on, but it's
Right.
not like I don't go looking for it. So, but I really, so anyways, yeah, I probably
Music.
wouldn't get a music thing tattooed, but I would love to just watch somebody like play the guitar, like that Rick that my
Right.
dad's friend, the way he just,
He just loves to
He-
play.
the
And
way
he
he
doesn't
goes
care
and
if you
gets
like the
into it,
song
you're
or
like,
know the
whoa.
song. He
So-
likes to play.
I love watching sometimes the faces that the people make.
yeah,
When
that's
they're
Like,
cool too.
singing?
When
It's-
you bend a note,
Well,
or
especially when they're
stretch for a
singing,
note.
like sometimes when they're singing and they kind of like when they go high, they go like they move.
John Mayer is the
They
best.
squish
for that.
their
Watch
mouth to
John
the side or
Mayer's
What
something.
is John Mayer
But
still
then-
around?
Oh God, he's
Even
touring
like-
with the Grateful Dead and Company now. He's the Jerry Garcia replacement.
Stop it.
Yeah, if you see the Dead and Company, you see John Mayer.
Oh,
Huh.
John.
And
I
he
didn't know
doesn't
that.
he doesn't take center stage. He becomes a part of the ensemble.
That's
He's
pretty
actually
sweet.
he's grown up a little bit. He's not the ego head that he was when he was younger. He's pretty cool.
I think
Cool.
music is so important because it really sets a tone, and man, it can make a memory. It can imprint a memory on
If
you.
we learned anything from this shutdowns and the pandemic, it was that art is way, way, way more important than people thought initially.
Yes.
And when they talk about cutting programs in schools and bolstering
Yeah.
up the football program, and
Yeah.
kids are getting concussions because they're not watching them careful enough, it should open someone's eyes that the music part is so vital to their growth.
Mhm.
And drama especially. We had like I said, we had challenged kids in my school, and we sometimes use the drama department to bring them out of their shell. And you
Yeah.
take the cool kid that's the jock and the good looking guy, and you take the nerdy little kid that codes all day long and you put them on stage, they're on a level playing field
Yeah.
now. And then when graduation comes, those guys are taking pictures together and they're
Yeah.
sitting at the table and their arms around each other.
Yeah.
They would never be friends without that connection.
That's
and I
true.
can still quote
important.
That's really true.
lines from shows I did 40 years ago,
Mhm.
45 years ago, because I remember what was going on. And like you said, the memories that it makes, you can think of a moment in history in your life and you know what was going on when you hear that song.
Oh God, yeah. When
can
you just
be
hear that,
transported right back. It's like
Yeah.
a smell or a sound, you know?
when it comes to Roy Orbison, I remember my dad always play it in his Pontiac, and it just brings back. I know I
See,
can
you
pick,
remember
I
the
could
car.
do a memory.
What else would make you think of a Pontiac except for your dad?
Beach
And-
Boys.
Oh, really?
He would play Beach Boys and Roy Orbison, and
Okay.
those guys always bring me back to my dad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to Boz Scaggs every morning,
I love Boz.
like while I'm showering, brushing my teeth and stuff. We had a cassette tape. Like,
What's a
yeah.
cassette tape?
Oh
you know?
my God. I miss those actually.
I didn't
And
know this was
just
such a
listen to-
cutting edge show.
listen to Boz Scaggs every
know.
morning.
What I remember
What's
listening
the lowdown?
Yeah,
is there's two types of music, country and western.
country and western.
And
Up here, that's
and
true on the
That
radio.
was my grandfather, and then and everyone in Dundee. So it's like, to me, like rock music, I guess we listen to a lot, but really it's like George Strait. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
seriously,
George
like
Strait.
George Strait. It's like would be the one person I could probably listen to all day just because I heard it so much as a
He
kid.
has so
Yeah.
many
I
hits
just-
as well,
yeah.
too.
But that's pretty funny, really. Like country and western, and that's what they all used to say. Like you turn rap music on, my grandpa would be like, "Turn that shit off!" He like lose his mind. He'd be like, "Okay, he'll just put on country and western."
That's funny.
Country is the new rock and rap is the new folk.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s, the folk music was telling all the stories and it didn't matter what the melody was or the instrumentation. It was the words, the Bob Dylan stuff, the Joni Mitchell things, the Joan Baez. These were all stories.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what rap music is doing today. They're telling stories. They're not always positive stories or happy or necessarily true.
I heard a
some of them aren't really
but
very
they're just talking to you.
story like.
I heard the story, 18th Amendment. It was Gold Digger. And I'm like, this is so great. I was at your place.
Oh,
I went to your
God.
place twice this week.
Did you?
I did.
Oh,
I
wow.
probably won't return back until like October now.
Yeah, I know. You really overdid it.
I did.
So I want to sing that She Give Me Money and in that high voice, and I can't. I can't. She gave me money. Doesn't come out. It doesn't work.
18 years.
Fox?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was
Kanye
Kanye
West.
West was in it too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like both of them. Yeah. Interesting.
Good song.
Good song.
Good song.
Talking about all of Dave's exes. I was
to that, huh?
I was listening to all my exes live in Texas on my way here, and I was thinking, like, man, that would be nice. Yeah, if all
If
your
they were
exes
far away.
Yeah.
all lived in
You
Texas,
could just send
that'd
them
be
to an
great.
island.
Where do all
just
your
set-
exes live, Jesse?
Oh, I wish in
over.
Texas. Just send it
Sometimes
to
I
Texas.
open that song up with all my exes drive a Lexus to make it look like I'm very good to
There,
them.
there you go.
That's a good one.
Oh God.
I love it.
So
Well-
when's the wedding, Jess?
No, geez, no,
Jesus.
no, not anytime soon.
Because I'm available.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
yes,
gonna-
he
I'm gonna
be
is.
the wedding
Because I know
singer,
it's going to
Dave.
be like a long time from now.
Yeah.
So I'll still be playing
it's
then.
probably gonna be
How old are you now? 27?
29.
You're 29?
29.
Did I
one's
miss a
20
year?
No one's 29. They just say that when they're 30.
29. No, 30 in December. I'll be
What are we doing for the big 3-0?
done. Hopefully nothing.
Everything.
I'm the biggest introvert in the world. I don't even
Everything.
unless I have alcohol.
Shooting guns.
So I'll probably just stay at home.
Should just shoot guns.
Shoot guns, sure.
I'm looking forward to this.
That's my favorite way to celebrate things.
Dirty 30.
Yeah.
That's a
I
interesting.
thought you were going to
one.
say dirty things.
No, Dirty 30. Oh God,
You like to work out dirty 30?
Dirty 30.
Although you can't get ammo now.
Yeah.
It's like impossible to get ammo.
Really?
Yeah. I was looking for more reloading supplies, and I put it in my cart, and then sure enough,
Gone.
I didn't buy it right away, and everything's out of stock.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Before I have to go, I got to be still at 12:30.
Yeah, we gotta
So
rock soon.
before I go, I was gonna ask Dave. So what's the big square there in Philadelphia? Is it Mallory or what's the square?
There's a few. Rittenhouse Square is a
Oh,
big one.
there you go. It's Rittenhouse. Did you
That's
play?
a good
Did you play around there a lot?
I
Like
played in
Rittenhouse?
the city in the hotels.
Okay.
I did more of there's a restaurant called the Prime Rib that's a pretty high-end restaurant. I worked in there sometimes. But most of the things I did were local to Bucks County. I did family dinner places, hotels, Holiday Inn circuit, things like that. But yeah, the city was, I used to charge a nuisance fee, and I would bury it. I wouldn't call it that on my contracts, but you work in the city, it requires extra money for parking, moving. You have to use a cart to move around. I remember the first time that I decided to do that, I had finished the job at 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and I load up my cart with the gear. I have cash in my pocket, and I'm walking down the loading dock ramp, and I'm looking for my car, and you can't get into the parking garage after 11 o'clock
Oh,
at this
no.
one end. So I got to walk all around. So here I am pushing a cart with thousands of dollars worth of equipment and money in my pocket, thinking I am such an easy target right now.
Yeah.
And just to get to my car.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that I charged a little extra for
Yeah,
the nuisance
in
of
the city.
getting there at a certain time, sometimes having a helper to bring my car back at a certain time. And it was a nightmare. And it isn't fun.
Yeah.
It
No.
isn't fun.
I just heard one of the best musicians I've ever heard live in Rittenhouse Square. I can't remember what bar we were at, but this guy was like,
Who was it?
I don't remember. I mean, it was years ago, but we were just like, we went in this bar and I didn't even notice him playing at first. And I thought that it was like the radio. Like he was
Okay.
like that good. Like you didn't know anything else. And then I look over and I'm like, oh shit, there's a guy playing the whole time. Like he was like that good. Like no clue. It was so funny. And he's one of those because he played in the background. You know,
I
he
see.
wasn't like,
Yeah.
but he was so good. He should have been like,
Well, there are
Make
times when
himself
the
star.
background is the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where your job is,
Yeah.
you know?
so have you lived in near Philadelphia at least?
Right, in the
Not-
suburbs.
Did you ever had a roast pork sandwich
Oh, yeah.
from
There's one called
Nick's?
there's one called the
Nick's?
Schmitters.
Schmitters.
That is
Okay.
based on, well, it's about Mike Schmidt, but
Okay.
it's based on roast pork, but it has 3 or 4 other terrible, deadly things in it: bacon and cheese,
Oh,
and
God.
sauce,
Sounds
and
even
sauerkraut.
better.
or
Sounds like
something.
fun.
Oh, it's amazing! It's like a heart attack on a plate. But we went on a cheesesteak tour one year.
Oh.
Me and my buddy said, we live in Philadelphia. We have to
Yeah.
find the best cheesesteak. We went to about 5 places. We had 5 steaks that day.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, we were just bloated and not happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
But my
lot.
favorite was a place right near Lafayette Hill where I lived for a while called Delisandro's.
Okay.
It's a family place and they're just wonderful. And if you go in there at 11 o'clock in the morning, they have a pile of beef about 3 feet high that's chopped and ready to go. And they will serve through it in 10 minutes at lunchtime. People line up outside. There's no indoor seating. You have to stand at a window and
cool.
say,
That's
without, all the little
You got to
Philly
have
things.
the saying.
Yes.
They'll send you to the back of the line and mess around.
Don't waste your time.
It's like the soup Nazi. You have to know. Provolone cheese, no toast on the roll.
See, if you say with or without, so like some people, it's different. So with or without, like onions and
Right.
and then some of them do provolone, some of them do cheese like whiz.
American cheese or cheese whiz, right?
Yeah,
That's
so-
another whole
but-
thing.
I'm a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Cheese whiz whiz.
So
That would be in order.
yeah, and I used to do cheesesteaks, but then I went down to, it's an underground like market. I forget the name.
Oh, the
of
Reading
it.
Terminal.
Reading Terminal. And I went
Yeah,
to this
very cool.
place called Nick's, and they make a roast pork sub, and it was like, wow,
Yeah.
wow, like it's
That
way
place
better
was
than a
great.
Philly
They
cheesesteak.
had great
Wow.
food.
I mean, it's like- The police were like, the cops were like in there, and I was like, "What's going on?" They were getting like Sam, like there was like everyone was just
It's
like
the
working.
safest place.
It was just like everyone that was working, like people in suits, people construction, the cops, like everyone
It
just
was a
standing in
huge
line.
place for the workers. I have
Yeah.
a funny feeling that
Crazy.
place died during COVID.
You
and
think so?
Oh, that
won't
would
come
be
back
sad.
because it was so close knit. Everyone was right together.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like the inside markets at the windmill where everyone is right next to each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you couldn't bring people in. So
That place is
The
cool.
windmill
It's
is
really cool.
slammed.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
we
it must
went
be.
by the windmill yesterday, and it was like
Nuts. Is the Red Dove open
so
in
many
Geneva?
cars.
No, it's shut down.
Permanently?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Wow.
what's the Linden Social Club like? Is that fun?
It's cool.
It's a high-end cocktail bar.
Yeah.
They make a bunch of
I've
really
been trying
cool
to communicate
cocktails.
with them. They don't. Phil, you're gonna have to call them for me because
Yeah.
you know everyone.
They don't really do live music much here and
I
there a
saw
little
some
bit.
advertisements for it
Here
yeah.
and there, but not
It's small.
not all that much. They do more of because they're more like hip hop, like music and
yeah.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
yeah, stuff like that.
I thought you were saying
So,
hip B. Hip.
no, they're like hip hop.
Stir.
It's like
The hop was a little delayed.
it's like a lot of the higher end Hobart kids that have mom and dad's credit card are there sipping, $18 cocktails.
I was just
So-
sipping exactly when you said sipping.
yeah.
I got
That
a
is
so-
freaky.
I got a
Juice.
scotch there once, and they charged me like $32.
But
Yeah.
did they?
Yeah.
Sounds about
I
right.
don't know what I had.
I
there.
like
It was a
I like
while.
the guy who owns. He's a good guy, but it's just like it's a different vibe.
I
than
get-
most
I-
places.
Was it worth $32?
No. I can get a bottle of it for 80 of that same one.
Oh yeah.
And so I ordered. I was like, I want the Lagavulin 16, and I put down a 20, and he's like, oh, it's like, how could it
That's
be
a
more than
down
20?
payment.
How could it be more than 20 for?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was $32.
Ouch.
Lesson
Well,
learned.
Guys, I got to go to distillery. I got no one to work it, so
All right,
I
All
gotta
right, Jesse.
run
Hey,
up there.
Jesse.
Sorry, guys. I
Yeah,
don't
we
mean
better-
to
We
leave
gotta
everyone.
get wrapped up.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
It
Dave,
was my
it was awesome
pleasure.
having
Thank you
you
for
on.
having me.
That's so
Thanks,
cool.
It's
Jess.
so nice to
Yeah.
see
And I'm
you.
going to see you in a week.
Yes, you are. It's going to be great.
Get
Awesome.
that at the Water Street Wine
Water
Bar
Street Wine
on
Bar.
Friday.
Friday at 7.
Friday at 7.
Mhm.
Friday at 7.
Maybe
Water
outside.
Street Wine Bar.
Maybe.
Hopefully
Maybe
outside.
Maybe on the
Maybe.
guitar. I don't know.
We'll check the weather forecast.
I will be on top of that.
I think it looks good as of
daily.
right now. The weekend looks good.
That's how it
Well,
should be.
Where'd it go?
We have to go
Wednesday.
past
But if it's a
It's
million
Friday.
degrees
Oh, yeah.
or
Look at
threatening,
that.
Oh, look at that. 70 degrees.
Pleasant with some sun.
Pleasant with some sun.
That's your
Pleasant
day.
is good. I like Pleasant. Yeah.
I think
don't
you like
see-
the with some sun.
I'll take some sun. Some sun.
Some sun.
Perfect.
That
Somebody
sounds like a
accused me of
Chinese
being
dish.
tan. Somebody said I was tan, by the way.
Well, next to me,
Speaking
you
of
are.
sun.
What?
Yeah.
Someone told me that Charlie
it
and
was
I look
Mary.
tan,
I think it was Mary.
but she must have been hammered.
See you guys.
All right.
All right. Bye,
Bye, Jess.
Jesse.
Well, thanks, Dave.
My
We'll,
pleasure. Thanks for
do
having
this
me.
again
Everyone look
sometime.
out for this guy. He's all over the Finger Lakes.
That's the plan.
There we
That's
go.
the plan.